Hey there, good afternoon. I'm Lucas Bond with the Missouri Department of Conservation. And today on Habitat Hints, we're going to be talking about escape cover, thicket for the quail. So where they can go if they're endangered or where they can just get away from any predator and so forth. I'm actually going to be joined here with MDC's Kyle Hedges. He's going to tell us a little bit more about this, and we're going to learn more, all we can, about escape routes, escape thicket for quail. All right, hey Kyle, how's things going today?
Good, glad to be here.
Good, good. And here, today we're going to talk about thicket, and you know, the escape thicket for quail, and I see behind you we got some types of thicket going on here. Tell us, why is that important? What's the purpose of it?
Yeah, specifically for quail, and of course rabbits and some other species use them as well, but we're thinking specifically for quail today. This woody, what we call woody escape cover, or just shrubby thickets, is important to a quail's life cycle the entire year round. They use them in the summertime when it gets really hot. We're out here in the midsummer, you know, you get those 100-degree days, they need to find shade. That's where they can do it. They can get in there, it's open underneath, the breeze can blow through, so they can cool down a little bit. But it's critically important the rest of the year from a predator standpoint. One of their top predators are various hawks, especially Cooper's hawks. So by going in the thicket, they're defended from overhead predators like hawks. They can go in there, they'll go out, get their food, they can go in there and then digest their food and have safety back inside of a thicket waiting for their next feeding time.
Now, I see the thicket behind you, but you were saying earlier, so tell me a little bit about spacing out the thickets. So here's a thicket, and then if I pan, I'm going to pan over this way. You see a thicket there, and there's a thicket there, and there's a thicket. What's the whole point behind the spread out of thickets?
So in a perfect world, you know, if you're managing for quail on your property, we need this escape cover positioned, spaced across the landscape, not just, you know, one thicket on one edge or a fence row on one edge. So to make the entire field, the entire property usable, we need the nicely spaced thickets. Quail typically, when they're frightened from a predator or a hunter, they're going to flush anywhere 50 to 150 yards of flight. So they need to be able to fly to the next thicket. If they can't, if they have to fly and land out in the open, then that hawk is going to have an easier chance to swoop in and get one of them. So they should be flight distances apart. Each woody thicket would be the ideal juxtaposition across the landscape.
So say being a landowner and I wanted to create great habitat, you know, and put those thickets on my property for quail, what would you recommend? I mean, what is the ideal type of thicket you would recommend they have planted or leave on their property when they start doing this?
Yep, the ideal species, what we would prefer is, you know, plum thickets are probably the best. Dogwood thickets are nice. This is a sumac thicket. That's less ideal, but still nice. Blackberry thickets are good as well. So direct planting is an option. You could plant these across your farm, but if you don't have them, there's ways to create them. So on edges, we can do edge feathering, which creates an artificial thicket. Out in open fields, we can do what we call down tree structures, where we cut down 2 or 3 trees. We just drag the treetops out. We don't make a brush pile. Brush piles attract possums and raccoons.
Predators.
We don't want that. But just a light clumping of 2 or 3 treetops. And so other birds will land on those dead limbs and they'll deposit seeds that they've eaten in their droppings. And eventually a thicket will grow up through that down tree structure. So you'll get a permanent thicket over time in those situations.
All right. You know, where can people learn more about how they can create their land or make some changes to their land so it's better habitat for quail and other broods, and also in creating this thicket? Where can they find all this information?
You know, we have private lands conservationists all around the state, so you can find out who your private lands person is for the county you're in. That's a great place to start. We even offer, in some cases, some financial assistance to help change your habitat and make it better. Our website is a great resource, mdc.mo.gov. You can get on there, you can look at private lands programs, you can look at quail habitat. We have a whole section on quail habitat and quail management. All of those things you can be found on our website.
All right, I really appreciate it, Kyle, and thank you very much, and thank you for tuning in today. Like he said, get on our website, check it out, and get all the information you would like to know about quail habitat, you know, and changing up your brood habitat and changing up your land to making it more suitable for quail and other brood habitat and other habitat. Thank you very much, and you'll have a great rest of the day.